Hello, it's Dorothy. Welcome back to the End Time Remnant YouTube channel. We are continuing with the Lessons in the Wilderness series, and this is video number 2. I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk to you about the importance of minding your own business and avoiding the comparison trap, right? So a lot of times we're looking around and we're seeing what the Lord is doing in other people's lives, and we are comparing their individual journeys to what we're experiencing, especially when we're in a wilderness season and things are so heavy and things are so tough. It can become really easy to look around. And so this video is to just really share with you what I learned while I was in my wilderness season about the trap, because that's really what it is. It's a trap to keep you there longer than what you need to be. And if there's one thing I wish I had done, it was to just focus on God and focus on what He was doing with me and not be at all concerned about what I saw going on around me. So the first thing you need to know is that all of our journeys to salvation are different. All of our testimonies are different. All of our divine assignments are different. And whether fair or not, all of our wilderness seasons are going to be different. The length of them is going to be different. The experiences that we have within that process are going to be different. It all depends on the individual, right? So for those of you who are watching, who have the privilege of being a mom or a dad to multiple children, I think you would agree with me in saying that you love them all the same, but you don't engage with them and deal with them the same. And the reason is because they all have different personalities. They all have different needs. They all have different wants. They all learn differently. You may have a child that, all you have to do is give them the look and they will straighten up and fly right. And then you may have another child that really takes it there and you have to put hands on them, right? The only language they speak is when you break out the belt, right? And you may have a child who's somewhere in the middle, for the most part, they're good, they're obedient. Every now and again, they show out. So you got to do what you got to do. It all depends on the child. And I have come to understand that it is the same way with God. He is our Father. We are His children, but we are different. Our personalities are different. Some of us are super obedient. We do what He tells us to do, and we do it quickly. Others of us are not. We are prideful. We want our own way. And those are the ones who suffer. And they stay in the wilderness longer than what they needed to. And hi, that's me. But it doesn't have to be you. And so I'm here to help you as much as I possibly can by sharing, what I've learned. And in terms of comparison, it's a problem. And you need to just mind your business. Focus on you, what the Lord is calling you to do, and what He is doing within you. There were countless times where I would kind of log on to YouTube looking for some type of word of encouragement. And I would click on a video that was kind of more so a testimony video where, a brother or sister would be talking about what the Lord had done in their lives. Testimonies are amazing. Testimonies are powerful. Testimonies are beautiful, but testimonies can be dangerous when you have a heart that's filled with pride and when you are battling with the spirit of self-righteousness. So let me further explain. There was a young woman who has a YouTube channel, and I'm not sure why her video came up in my feed because I'm not subscribed to her, but one day it did. And I clicked on one of her videos and it happened to be a testimonial. She was talking about just the grace and the love of God in restoring her marriage after she cheated on her husband, engaged in lesbianism, and there were a few other things that was going on within her marriage that were kind of not so great. And she was just talking about the goodness of the Lord, Him forgiving her, Him healing her, Him, just washing her with His love and restoring her union. And, she's just naturally giving God all the honor and praise that he deserves. And for a heart that wasn't prideful, that heart would have been able to receive that sister's testimony and be like, thank you, Jesus, for blessing her, because I know that one day you're going to do the same for me. You're going to give me the desires of my heart and you're going to bless my life. So thank you for blessing her, because I know that you are no respecter of persons. That's for the heart that's not prideful. For the self-righteous individual like myself, I listened to her testimony and I will not lie. The first thing I thought to myself was, you cannot be serious. I have been praying for my spouse and I've been praying for children for quite some time now. I have not done the half of what this chick has done, and I still don't have what I've asked you for. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the wrong way to approach the throne of God. You go very wrong when you approach the throne in any other way other than humble, right? When you get ready to go to the Lord, you need not talk to him about what he's doing in other people's lives. You go humble, you go recognizing that you are just as foul as everyone else, right? You sin differently. So you haven't had multiple abortions. Okay. And you haven't cheated on your husband. Okay. And you haven't smoked weed. Okay. But you've done other things, right? You've done other things. And whether no one else around knows about it, God knows about it. You've sinned in other ways. And I think when we start to compare our sin to other people and we start to compare what God is doing with this one or what he's doing with that one, it is dangerous. It is a trap. It is a black hole that you fall into. And it can be avoided if you just focus on the Lord, focus on him and what he is doing with you. When you hear testimonies of other brothers and sisters, it can be difficult while you're in the wilderness season, right? Especially if you are in a wilderness season that has been extremely long. So there was a testimony of a young woman who was talking about, basically on Monday, she got evicted and she didn't have anywhere to live. By Friday of that week, she had a new place, and supernaturally, the Lord made it all work out for her. Again, beautiful testimony, powerful testimony of how nothing is too hard for God. For someone who's in a wilderness season, who has been there for an extremely long period of time, hearing that the Lord moved on your behalf in less than a week is dope. But that don't mean nothing to me if I've been sitting here week after week, month after month, year after year, still waiting for the promises of the Lord to manifest in my life, right? And so that's where listening to testimonies may get a little, it may sidetrack you, point blank. While you're in your wilderness season, my suggestion would be that you literally just stay focused, tunnel vision. The Lord is doing amazing things in other people's lives around you, and that's wonderful. When you get out of your wilderness season, it'll be great to hear. While you're in it, while you're under the fire, just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Some of you may not battle, with self-righteousness. You may not battle with pride, and hearing other people's testimonies may absolutely be an encouragement to you. You know who you are and you know what you battle with. If hearing stories about what God is doing in other people's lives, especially if these are stories of testimonies of things happening very quickly, when you've been in a wilderness that seems like it has lasted forever, that testimony may not be comforting to you at all. It may serve as a point of discouragement, actually. And so that's the warning. Just be careful with what you're listening to, and be careful of your heart posture. And be careful of your prayer life. You know what I mean? You cannot go to the Lord talking to him about what he's doing with other people. Tell him, listen, I want what you have for me. Help me to focus on what we're doing. Help me to focus on my own process. Help me to learn everything I am meant to learn in this heavy place, in this dry place, in this season of breaking, in this season of sorrow, in this valley. You know what I mean? Everything that you have for me here, don't let me miss anything. Because truthfully, your wilderness season is just preparation for your promised land. The promised land does have milk and honey, but it also has giants, right? There are also wars to fight over in the promised land. And your wilderness season is preparing your hands for war. And so if you're so focused on what the Lord is doing in other people's lives and you're missing the lessons that you're supposed to be getting while you're there, well, then you get over to your promised land ill prepared for what's there. And so focus on Him, focus on yourself. Do not allow the enemy to drag you down a path of comparing what the Lord is doing with other people. For me, I fell into that trap, and it got bad. It got bad, and it. I genuinely feel like it extended my wilderness. You know what I mean? Because it just got to a point where I didn't really want to pray. I felt like I didn't have too much to say to God. I was absolutely disgusted. I was bitter. You know, I'm sitting here praying for things that I feel are small. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know a husband was a big deal, and I didn't know children were a big deal. And you know, I'm not the one praying for mansions and private jets. I'm just asking for whatever He has for me. And I just kind of felt like everywhere I look, someone is getting engaged. Everywhere I look, someone is pregnant, um, even pregnant out of wedlock. Like all these things are happening around me. I'm asking you for something simple and I still don't have it. Why is that? It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And that's what it is designed to do. It is literally a strategy of the enemy designed to frustrate you and get you to a point where you don't want to talk to God, where you're frustrated, where your faith is just wavering, right? Where you're double-minded, you're sad, angry. So let your journey be your journey. Don't allow the enemy to discourage you. You know, recognize that God has not forgotten about you. Whatever tests and trials you're going through, they all have a purpose. Don't compare your journey to anyone else. You know, tell the Lord that you want what He has for you and just remain in total submission. You know, focus on what the Lord is doing with you. And I promise you, you will come through your wilderness much faster, much stronger, much more focused, and you won't miss anything that the Lord has for you because you're focused on other people. So that's all I have for you today. Prayerfully, it has been a blessing to you, and I will see you next time.